Okay.
That was good.
That was really good. Welcome back to another episode of So Glad We're Friends. I'm Brittany.
I'm Devin.
I'm Maggie.
That was so weird.
I quite literally almost said I'm Maggie.
I'm feeling a little sick, so Brittany's raising our energy so she can raise all of our energies.
We gotta raise the vibes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of peopling for my two introvert girlies.
Vibes are low.
But
Vibes are higher though than
vibes are higher.
a few hours ago.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna be talking about friendships of threes. Based on a couple TikToks we saw and strong opinions that people have on like friendships of three not being ideal, but we've all been in friendships of three and we kind of like the balance of it all.
Being
And-
that we are in a group
Yeah.
of three right now.
I have like mixed feelings about it.
Oh, okay. Well,
These
I guess
feelings are new.
These
so
are new feelings.
I guess
So
she hates it now. Also, this topic comes from White Lotus and that girl group of three and how messy it was and just
I
like the
also-
dynamics.
don't watch White Lotus, so you guys will have to
Yeah,
debrief
you don't
me.
need to watch White Lotus to know, but the finale with them, like it
Yeah.
did go back. Like basically, it's a group of three girls and they talk shit about each other when the two of them are together. Then the two are talking shit and vice versa. But by the end of the trip, it was like they kind of realized their friendship is the most important thing, and that those little things that they're talking shit about don't really matter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love each other and they give each other's lives meaning.
My
Yeah,
like
it's very
hot
sweet.
take though on like talking shit is that if you have like one person or like multiple people that are like shit talkers in general,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to talk shit about you, whether it's to like your group of three, like the other person, or like other people, no matter
For
what.
sure.
Because like I
yeah.
think that there's some people that just are more inclined to be talking shit, and it's like that you can't. It's not really about the friendship of three. It's more like they're just a shit talker, and so
And when you're so close, like literally every single friendship in my life has been groups of three. And when you're so close, sometimes you feel comfortable saying it because you'd say it to the other person's face also. Like,
But I think that's something that's like almost because you probably don't say it to their face as much as like you would be like, yeah, I would say this to their face.
I think
But, like,
it
how
stems
are
from
you?
being with each other for too long.
Yeah.
And so you start getting aggravated and you need to vent about one person to the other and vice versa. And like with the White Lotus, they're traveling together to Thailand. So it's like they are frustrated with each other and they're like venting. So there's that dynamic too.
I guess I really don't know if you guys talk shit about me, but
We don't.
But like I have a level of confidence that like we generally say things together. Like if there's something
Yes.
going on,
that's what I mean, kind of.
like we I don't know. Like
I
like
think
when me and
maybe-
Devin are by ourselves, I don't
We don't even talk about you.
No, I was gonna say like it's not
cool. That's honestly has not crossed my mind though. I
No,
have
it-
never
it
once thought like
doesn't.
when you guys are hanging out.
No.
Oh, are they like talking shit about me?
hasn't
or
crossed my
anything?
mind
That's
either.
never crossed my mind.
But I was gonna say exactly what Devin just said. I'm like, we don't really like unless it was your wedding or something and we're like excited for your wedding, like we don't really like talk about you when you're not here.
well, because
you know?
yeah, there wouldn't really be like a reason to unless you're talking about like the podcast or upcoming plans or anything.
Yeah.
Or just
I
current
think-
things happening.
I think if we were to spend longer amounts of time with each other more often,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I would be more prone to like talk
Definitely.
to each other about each other if I was annoyed about something, you
But
know?
not even in
Yeah.
like a shit talking way, just like a
No,
venting
just, like,
way.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Maggie is bringing down the whole vibe because she's so ill.
Yeah.
It's just,
I'm so sorry.
even looking at her is just like annoying me and I really need to vent to you because she is so sick. I don't even like to
Yeah.
like look at her face.
I feel like in the last like because I definitely in high school there was like so much like petty like shit talking.
Wait, should we play the TikTok?
Yes. Okay.
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
there's two TikToks that kind of
I just you guys were, like,
triggered this
yaps, right?
conversation. And
Like,
so
I had a lot of thoughts.
No, hold it up.
yeah, hold
Keep
it
that
in.
in your mind. High school.
All right, here's the first
I'm gonna
one.
write it down.
I will die on is that I truly believe friend groups of three will never work. I feel like every girl has a traumatizing story of being in a friend group of three. I've come to this conclusion, and every single group of three I've ever been in has been a complete disaster. I've decided I'm never gonna travel with groups of three, go out in groups of three, have a main group of three friend groups. Too much like ganging up, a lot of talking shit, bullying one person. Groups of 2, that's a best friend. That's fun. Group of 4, yay, big group, fun. 2 people could go do something, the other 2 could do something, get together, it's good. A group of 3, what are you gonna do, dance in a triangle? And yes, I have done that. If it works for you, that's amazing. Do I think it's gonna last? Not really. The hill that I will die on is that
What's her username?
Sarah, Sahar. Sarah. So should I play the other one too? Or do we have anything to say specifically?
We can more just talk with what they said in the other one.
Okay. I don't remember what they said exactly.
I mean, you can.
Bravery.
Yeah.
You know what? I am going to say something, and a lot of people aren't going to like it. 3 friendships never work.
Great. I was literally about to say that.
They don't, because 2 are always closer than 1, and then there's always like the one leader.
I was like the 3rd friend in the 3-friend group, and I always felt like I had to like be like chasing after them in a way. And
Yes,
it's the worst feeling.
The worst
ever.
feeling. I've been in that same fucking friendship.
We were a trio in high school, pretty much. Me, you, and Talia.
Oh, yes.
I'd say I fell to the 3rd wheel a lot of the times.
She moved.
And that's fair. But like it's
That was my whole college experience. I was the odd one out. I'm like, fuck, this sucks. Because I know we're friends and they love me, but we're not as close.
Yeah.
That's a more important thing about 3s. I think more than like the shit talking is like always feeling like 2 are closer. And like it could change. Like if you're in a group of 3, like flip-flopping between like, oh, I'm more close with this person right now. And then, oh, they're closer right now because of whatever is going on in their lives or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that feeling of just being left out is hard in groups of 3.
Yeah, I think like I would say I was like the 3rd friend in most of the situations.
Same. Why do you think that was?
Really? That's surprising.
Why? That's a great question.
I know why I was.
Okay, why were you?
Because I'm an introvert and I want to be the 3rd person. I don't want to be needed and there with someone 24/7. I want to pop in when I want to pop in and be out when I'm independent. I want to be alone. And I don't like being like someone's only best friend.
I agree, and I feel the same way, but then I also would still get sad.
Yes, same.
So like I'd be like, wait, this is my fault, but then I'm also sad about it.
They'd be like, well, we didn't want to invite you because we knew you wouldn't want to come. And it's like, yeah, you're right. I didn't want to come, but I still feel bad that I wasn't invited.
Yeah,
and I wish that you 2 wouldn't get together either, because just because I'm at home, I think you 2 should stay at home too, because I'm sad that you're like, I'm missing out.
Or I'd still have other friendships of 3. Like Morgan and Victoria is a friendship of 3. Kyra and Valerie are a friendship of 3 that were like at the same time. So it's like I can go to either group. I'm the 3rd of both. You know? I don't know. It's very interesting.
I feel like I definitely had phases where, but it was like within the same friend group where like I was like the closer one, and then at times I would be like the 3rd. So like so there's like, I'm thinking of one specific threesome. I guess actually maybe I was more in groups of 4. Like I actually don't know how many groups of 3 I was really part of.
She's like, never mind, let's not do this topic.
Well, no, I'm just saying, but I think it's like true for like multiple friend groups. You know what I mean?
Not really.
A little bit.
She doesn't want to be too close to us.
I know. I'm worried about
I actually hate
I
groups of
literally
3.
did not want to be in the corner.
Well, let's put pillows behind you. She's not helping me at all. So this is just.
Do you want me to be in the corner?
This is good.
I don't mind being on that corner.
No, I
She's
like.
the one who wanted to sit on this side for some reason.
I wanted this. Side,
Oh, yeah.
I like this side of my face.
Because that's when I was younger, all my pictures of myself that I liked were, you couldn't even see my face because I had like that really far hair part. And it would just be like, just from this side.
That's really funny.
Or from the back.
I just like this part of my face,
But your hair is covering your whole
but
pretty
if
little
I'm angled,
face.
like you can kind of see my face. I don't know, fucking Okay, my statement still holds true to some degree because there were times where like my friendships just shifted, where like someone was on the pom team together and they were on student yearbook or like the student council and they were part of like the sport that we did, so they would spend just like more time together, and so obviously there's just like more like conversations that they would have and things like that, versus like then there was times where like we would hang out like all the time because we were like in the same sports and like doing after school stuff together. So I feel like that in high school that influenced those things a lot more.
Definitely. Like in elementary school, my first friendships ever in kindergarten that I made, it was a group of 3, and that was till like 6th or 7th grade when I met Morgan and Victoria. Well, I knew them before that, but like when we became really, really close. And I feel like in elementary school, the group of 3 was really totally fine most of the time because we didn't have phones or anything. So it'd be like we would hang out together. We did church together. We did school together. We were all in different classes. So it wasn't like that. So it was pretty even.
Yeah.
But then I feel like sometimes it either has to be fully even like that, where it's like you only talk in group messages, or you only hang out the 3 of you and it's like very even. Or like you're saying, Denver, it's like that the third person's kind of more fine being.
Yeah.
Like I like to be passive in a group relationship, but I don't like, let's say I'm hanging out in a group of 3. That's like ideal for me because there's always there's always a conversation happening and I don't have to be lifting all the way.
And I don't love a one-on-one.
Me either. It's a lot of extra heavy lifting. You have to be much more aggressive and mindful and like, I as a friend, I also just want to be passive, but also that's making me realize like as you get older, you have to be more active and aggressive as a friend. Otherwise, because we're so busy, we just drift apart.
Well, so like cosmetology school, I met my best friend Ashley, and also there was this girl named Hira, and she's from Turkey, and it was the 3 of us. We were like inseparable, and she moved back to Turkey. So like we still talk to her occasionally. Like I love her. We comment on all her videos, and she loves us and whatnot. But like obviously we can't be as close as me and Ashley are because she's in a different country.
Yeah.
Well, she was now.
I also think like similar to what Jewel said about like history kind of like timeline and repetitions and stuff. One of my threesomes like in middle school, high school, these girls were friends from like elementary school. Like really,
and then
really
you were
young.
newer?
And then I was newer.
Oh.
But then we would like, for the most part, we would like all hang out in 3s unless there was like times where somebody was busy, and then we would do like one-on-one things. But
I was dropped into a friendship like that in middle school because the elementary schools all merged, and so my 2 best friends had been best friends since like 1st or 2nd grade, and then I was into their group. But as I was listening to like the bullying aspect of groups of 3s, that is so true. We would always pick on one, as like because you could gang up on them, and like we would pick on my friend Kayla so much, and I thought of it as a joke, you know?
Yeah, especially like middle school time, high school.
But it was always just one person being ganged up on.
But even like in our relationship has changed with Brittany being your manager and we would really only talk in a group chat before. And it's like now you guys have separate conversations. Obviously we have separate conversations too. But like that does lend to just more time and whatnot.
Yeah. Do you feel like any type of way about that? Like, does it make you feel like less close, or maybe at first, but now it's like not as much of a thing?
It doesn't make me feel less close of like, oh, you're talking about Walmart or something, you know, like that sort of thing. It makes me feel sometimes of like, oh, if I don't know information or like, but like we've talked about, it's not like you need to tell me every brand that you get or something like that. But it's like, oh, if you were, I don't know, just talking about something that I like missed out on, then that feels maybe left out.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But like even you guys doing your trip and stuff, I didn't feel like left out about that.
Yeah.
Good.
That's why if you're secure and you have multiple friendships,
yeah, exactly,
then I don't think like the 3s, a group of 3 never really works out.
Yeah,
like,
or like me and Devon, like we talk pop culture things and stuff that you don't like. Like that's different.
We have full conversations without Brittany all the time in our group chat.
Yeah,
that's true. She just can read them later if she wishes. That's so true.
It is nice to like get little updates on like things that maybe I find interesting, and if not, then I can just let them pass.
Just let it go. For sure.
Like, okay, don't need to respond to that.
Yeah.
Cool though.
Yeah, I'm trying to like put myself in all those different feelings that I felt.
I definitely feel like if you move here, I might feel like more left out.
Oh, for sure. If I lived here, yeah. If I was just over at her house all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that what happens is like you kind of like in those sort of circumstances, you're doing a lot of like the mundane everything.
Exactly.
Everyday things together. Even if you live in Tucson, you're like 2 hours away or whatever, and you see each other like once a month, that's still so much more like than.
Yeah.
I don't think that would ever happen.
No,
What?
it's so funny of like just going back and forth about moving. Like now that it's nice out, I'm like, we're not moving back.
I just think if you lived in Tucson, I would maybe see you.
Well, I would
2
never
more
live
times.
in Tucson.
You wouldn't?
No.
Oh, you would live in Phoenix.
Yeah.
The dirty.
Oh, so that's even worse.
I was like, wait, I know something about dirty, but I
The
don't
dirty
know.
P.
Because I wanted to say dirty 30, and I was like, that's not
Wait,
it.
I thought you guys would fully move to Tucson.
No, like, I mean, some of our friends are in Tucson, but like our main friend groups
Did you
are
see
out
those
here.
houses, that house that I posted on my.
Yeah.
Do you want to go in on a house like that in Arcadia together?
Well, I didn't even see this. I must miss it.
I don't have my
I
phone.
wanna.
I posted on my story
Does it
when
have
I
a
was looking
pool?
at houses that I wanted.
Oh, and it was like $800,000 or something.
Oh no, it's probably like 5 million.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go in.
In the outside, the front porch had hanging basket swings in the
Yeah,
front.
it's so beautiful. But I literally, it's just like when it's nice and in the winter, I want to move here. And now
Yeah.
that the cherry blossoms are blooming, I'm like, no, I don't want to.
No matter where you live, you kind of have a season where you're
Yeah.
looking forward to the next season. But I
Yeah.
think that's the thing. Like, I love traveling because it makes me love my house. You know, like I
Mhm.
love winter because it makes, just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
I definitely really, I don't know. I feel like because we have so many places to go, even just like namely like Phoenix and Austin, I do feel like we have kind of like winter escapes, like when we're kind of over it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really nice to break it up. But then even like right now, like April here is so nice.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I love April
in
here.
Denver's really nice.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like a hard
Yeah,
mix.
mm-hmm.
yeah, that one is. Kyra and Valerie is a threesome, a friendship that I have. And when I first moved, Valerie was still living in Tucson with Kyra,
Yeah.
so like they would hang out all the time and stuff. And I think that, not that I wasn't even sad about it or anything, but just like they were obviously closer in that period where I
Yeah.
was a third, and then Valerie moved to California, so now it's like back on the same
Even.
plane.
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, that is interesting, like of that dynamic, like shifting over time. I also think that maybe I brought in more threes, like because I was really close with like a friend, and then I would become closer with other people, and then want to keep like my friend and like bring them in
Mm-hmm.
to the mix. So sometimes I feel like that was kind of hard to balance because like I'm trying to put people together that maybe like wouldn't be friends otherwise.
Also, how many
yeah.
people like in my middle school and elementary school, there was like 60 to 70 of us total in our grade. So
There's
like
400 people in my high school class.
There was 800 in mine.
Yeah. There's like a lot of people.
yeah, so like I don't know, it was more kind of everyone was friends.
Yeah,
and then there was a
yeah.
few like outliers.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's why I feel like with like in general with like sports and stuff, I generally was like always trying to bring more
Yeah.
friends.
Oh, so
together.
even now, Morgan and Victoria had 7th grade. So they were in 7-3 and I was in 7-1.
Oh.
And still to this day, like they'll make references and stuff about
Oh,
7-3, and like it
you're
still gets to
kidding.
me. I'm like, damn, I wish I was in
I
that
forgot
class.
about that shit.
Yeah,
I
that's
hated
really
that
annoying.
in middle
Or
school
vice
where they
versa.
would group you in like kind of pods where you
Yeah.
had the same teachers.
Yeah, so you'd switch around. Like we'd
Yeah.
move with the same class to
Yeah.
different teachers
Yeah.
every single time. But then DC, we went to Washington, DC in 8th grade, and Morgan couldn't come and Victoria could come. So then that she's still pissed about. She's like,
Yeah.
I can't believe I missed DC.
That's so funny. Yeah, I don't know. And then I feel like in college there was a lot more like shifts of groups. So it was like more like quads, but like 2 people were more close. And then like it was like there were still just different levels of closeness with
Yeah,
each people.
when it's a bigger group.
Yeah. There was definitely sometimes in college where like I was closer to one girl and like I just didn't care about the other person. So sometimes it
Oh my
was like,
God, that's so sad.
it wasn't like, but it was not like we were like a threesome group of friends. It was more like I was friends with one person and then
And then
she
that
was
was their
good friends
friend.
with both of us.
Yeah.
But like we would like do stuff together and I'm like, I don't really like care about this other person quite so much. Or they're like not exactly my cup of tea. But I would still be like, just have to be nice and like
Yeah.
chill.
I don't know if I've ever had a like one-on-one friendship.
I know. I was just thinking about that. Like, it's so intimate to have a friendship like that.
Yeah, I mean, like
That's just
Cameron, that's
doesn't-
my friendship
yeah,
like that.
exactly. Like you had that in Boyfriends.
Yeah. Whoa.
I had that in
Whoa.
my sister, but even with a sister, it's very different because like my sister has her own best friend. She always has a best friend. And I was also a third a lot of the times in my sister's best friend friendship.
That makes sense.
I'm the third in my siblings. Like,
Yeah. I'm the
and my
first in my siblings.
sister-
I don't know why this is happening.
Me and my sister shifted a lot. Like there were so many times where like it was me and Brie, who's my middle sister, and then there were times where like my two younger sisters were like I was fully excluded. Like there was like no part of me that was like invited to any of their like conversations or things.
That's interesting. That is another concern. A lot of people don't want to have just 3 kids. Like you can't have 3, you can have 2, you can have 4, but you can't have 3 because one's always going to be left out.
My family always used to think of like Disneyland rides.
But
with
yours
the
is
three
a
of us.
little bit different
of
because
age.
different
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah. And
So like
just a
Lexi likes
huge
to
age
call
gap.
herself a middle child a lot, but it's like you're my dad's she's my dad's baby. Like you're not really getting the
that's so
middle child
interesting.
thing.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
also
yeah.
the youngest, spoiled little favorite baby.
That makes so much
But then
sense.
at my mom's house, she kind of is treated like the middle child. Like,
Yeah.
Whoa.
because
It's
Jake's
almost
the
such
boy,
like two different
even though he's in the
dynamics.
middle, he's like the boy, the prized possession. Logan's the baby that everyone loves. I'm the responsible one that everybody looks to.
The only reason I like didn't like the threes was just on vacations. Other than that, like I was always out with my friends doing stuff. So like it really didn't bother me that much. But on vacations it would be like annoying because I'm like, I guess I'll just go do something by myself or like read a book or I don't know.
Wow.
But
you also can't predict like which of your kids will be close and stuff. Like you could have.
it also made me like just make friends at the pool. Like I'd go down to the pool and just be like find friends. Like
Yeah.
or I'd make up games with different kids. Like I was like the lifeguard. It was like an unmanned, unlifeguarded pool, and I was like the lifeguard on the slide. Like,
Oh my God, that's funny.
Or I'd be like allowed to bring a friend on family vacations.
Yeah.
Like if my brother and sister were way older or not even going sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's so weird. Like this summer, they're going on vacation with their mom. And I'm like, what the fuck?
That's
like you guys are
weird.
going on a family vacation without me?
Oh my
That's
God, I
so
hate that.
weird. They've never done that.
Really? Why are they doing it now?
Wow, that's
Because
weird.
they're like closer with their mom now and stuff and have a better relationship, which is
That's
good. But I'm
That's very
like, whoa,
nice.
that's just so weird. Like
That
you
is
guys are
really
going to be
weird.
on Mission
Happen.
Beach without me?
It is so interesting that it's like such a thing. Like last night we were just talking about with like your parents and like you guys were just talking about San Diego and I was like, Kristen, like remember Cedar Point? And like we had like a totally different experience.
Yeah.
It is so funny.
Growing up in the Midwest.
I really would like to go to Cedar Point,
I wouldn't.
mostly because Dax loves it.
Did you get like swamp ass or whatever? What does he always talk about where you would get a rash from your ass being so sweaty
Ew.
I mean, I never experienced
at Cedar
that,
Point?
but
Mm.
it's like the Midwest in the summertime, so
I've never
It's hot
been
as fuck and
anywhere in the
humid as
Midwest,
fuck,
I don't
but-
think.
I wish this time made sense to me.
I know.
I mean, it's not timing it. It's
It's like
some other type of
602
measurement.
Yeah.
that I don't know. 28 minutes. Why does it feel like we've been talking for like an hour?
No, that feels almost exactly like 28 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
fuck.
Are you this bored with us? Should Maggie and I just have a conversation?
Yeah, a conversation without me. I'm ready to see myself out of this relationship for a bit.
I do think like I don't think I really understood like the energy of introverts and stuff when I was younger.
Neither did I.
No, but like I understand like in our friendship now, like I feel like it is kind of nice where there's the balance because it does make sense like you were saying with like you don't feel like you need to be on or contributing like all of the time. Like there's times where you can kind of take a break.
Yeah.
But I also think in general, one thing I just love about our friendship that's I feel like kind of unique, and I brought it to like other friendships where like I start asking questions about like, hey, do you guys need like some downtime, or like, you know, do you want some like recharging time or like whatever, and just like checking in about those things, because I think we do a good job of kind of checking in with those things, and like even planning the group trip. We're like, okay, we know we should schedule in like a couple downtimes so that
We did not do that for this trip.
well, we did schedule it. We have them on the schedule, but we just didn't adhere
do an
to
episode
any
last
of
night.
them. We've just blown through all.
But also even like last night of you wanting to go to bed early and doing Pilates in the morning and stuff, like we're good of knowing what works for each other and like feeling comfortable being like, I'm gonna go to bed early tonight.
Yeah.
I think being in a
I'm going
group,
to go to bed early tonight.
being in a group of more than like 3, 4, whatever, allows me to not exude as much energy so that I can be active for longer. Because remember I was telling you how when I had Paige over and I was like spending so much energy worrying about, you know, entertaining her or like just being able to predict her moods or what she's going to want to do or whatever.
100%.
Yeah.
But when you're with more people, it's not
exhausting.
your only responsibility. Like you're sharing the responsibility. We're all sharing.
Yeah.
That's why I was stressed on my birthday, because it became like, oh, now I need to like fully, I don't know, do everything I'll be on.
And that's why maybe I don't like birthdays, because then I have to worry about everyone. Whereas if we're all just getting together, but it's not for me, then like
then
it's
you
all
can
our
be-
responsibility to like kind of manage everyone. But like,
Even my brother having his housewarming, he was like, that was a lot, honestly, like needing to bounce around and having so many different groups all in one place at the same time is a lot. I mean, that's a wedding also. Like it's kind of,
But I also thought a lot about it though, because I'm like, for a wedding specifically, I definitely want to like be able to dedicate a lot of time to like the people that are there.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where I'm like, okay, I want to have those conversations and to be part of those things, but I also want to have like meaningful things, not just like 2-minute conversations saying the same thing over and over and over again.
yeah.
So
yeah, and it's like I saw my aunts and uncles yesterday, not yesterday, 2 days ago.
yeah.
And they were just talking about the wedding and stuff and like the fun that they were having at their Airbnb and different things like that I'm like, I didn't experience that, but like they were still having fun on their own, didn't need to be entertained.
Yeah.
But then I'm sad I missed out on
I
those
know.
things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what other.
Oh, we watched another episode. Not an episode. My goodness. Another TikTok that said there's the blunt one, the moderator, mediator, and the nice one.
In every group of 3, there's a blunt one, a moderator, and a nice one.
Thank you for repeating.
Which honestly, I was. Well, you just didn't give any context.
No, I know I didn't. Do I start my sentences out loud in the middle of my thought?
Yeah, you
I
know
do
what's
that
funny
sometimes.
is the way, because I listen to you talk a lot because I edit the podcast, and you talk a lot in like not even a circle, but just like a squiggle line. And I was listening to Lauren Graham on Call Her Daddy, and she does the same thing. And you guys are both Pisces.
Whoa,
Interesting.
Her birthday is like close to yours, I think.
that's
What
interesting.
day is hers?
I don't know, March, St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah, 17th.
Yeah.
So 2 days before mine. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I attributed a lot to like ADD, like,
Yeah,
but
that's what I
a
was
big
thinking.
part of it too is that like, and this is a blessing and a curse to some degree.
See how you just cut that
I
thought
know,
in half?
I do it all the time.
I know you do.
But it's because I'm not forming my thought in my head before I speak out loud. I'm forming my thought as I talk.
Yeah.
And so because of that, like it obviously is happening in real. You're seeing me put it together.
We're
in real time.
watching you compute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
Joe
the same
fucking
thing.
hates it sometimes though, because I'm like, I either start my sentence out loud after I've thought about like 5 things, and then I start, and so there's no context of what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
But I forget that because in my head it makes sense. I'm like, why aren't you understanding what I'm talking about right now?
Yeah.
Or it's like he can't follow my thought process as well because it's like going from here, and then I interrupt myself to talk about the dog, and then I come back to talk
the
about
first thing.
The thing
something
I
else.
notice is you don't finish a thought.
Yeah.
You'd be like, and I was talking to this, or because I was doing like you like cut in the middle of like a
something
thought.
else is more interesting in my brain.
And you'd be like, or but then I was like, it's just
It is really one time though, like I was really drunk with like Joe's parents and their friends. And because of my because I was drunk, I obviously wasn't doing like usually when in conversations I'm like pretty attentive. I'm like good at like listening to you and like giving you my full attention. But apparently I was like, so Devin, tell me about San Diego. And you would start telling me something and I was like, I would jump to the next person. I'm like, oh, Joe, how was golf today?
oh my god.
My God.
So it's like, I can't believe you did that.
I remember that was like last year or something when you got really drunk.
That was at
with
Christmas.
them,
Yeah, that was bad.
I feel like I do that too because when I'm trying to think of my thought ahead of time, I can't listen. Like I try to do that in the podcast a lot to not interrupt. I like sit here and I try to think of the thought, but then I'm like, wait, no, I'm not listening.
I do really enjoy having my computer like to type a note to like remember to ask a question.
Yeah, that's another thing about focus is like with attention deficit issues, like you want to focus, you want to be able to like scribble or like
I
something
really
to
have to
stimulate
write.
yourself. But then it seems rude, like you're not paying attention because I'm like picking at something. But actually, I'm listening so well because I'm picking at something.
Yeah,
you know?
that's actually a real. I didn't even think about that.
Like in school, they should allow kids to like color while the teacher is talking about a chapter from the history section. I bet you'd remember it so much better if you were able to like just color in a butterfly or something.
It's so interesting because I'm sure there's so many kids that like would do better like that. Other kids do better by taking little bits of notes.
Yeah.
And other people like do better with like fidgeting or doing something.
Yeah.
But to a teacher, fidgeting and coloring, you're not paying attention.
Right.
They
But,
use
like-
it a lot more now. Like my friend who's a second grade teacher, she has like gives fidget
that's
spinners
great.
and different fidgets.
I
to
think
her
it'd be
kids
cool
that
to
need it.
like
That's so
break up your kids in like sections in the class. Like these ones do better if they're fidgeting, and these ones do better
rather
when
than
they're
like
not.
That
this
is
is the
so-
lesson you need to
So
turn
then,
these
oh my God.
notes.
the ones that aren't,
They're not getting distracted by the
distracted,
fidgeters
yeah.
or the doodlers.
yeah.
But you can't have a whole classroom full of fidgeters.
No, you just know
But
which
they'd have to be in
ones-
their own area. But that's so smart because it would be like none of those people are distracting each other.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I like see it as like a 4-pane window.
Yep.
And like
Yeah.
breaking it up like
Might
We should
be
submit that
a
to
bit
the new-
segregation.
Teacher.
Then it'll be
people.
like then they're only friends with.
no, it's
those
learning
two.
styles. It has nothing to do with race or gender.
I'm not talking about race or gender.
But you said
like,
segregation.
Well, I was kidding. Like if you're separating,
Yeah, one
them,
parent
then
will
you'd
be like, my daughter doesn't get to color, but she says that the girls in the back get to color. And like,
exactly. And then you would be like, as the kid, you can't know, like, oh, are we the dumb ones or something like that?
But
Like,
you
there
know
was
what's
an
interesting,
episode
though?
like
Like,
that on a
why
TV show where
can't-
like one kid was the otter and they're like, is the otter good or bad?
mhm.
Fuck, I don't remember what TV
But
show
you know
it
what's
was.
interesting though is like I feel like as a kid I always just had to have an reasoning. Like my mom would tell me something. I'm like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why can't I do that? Like, why?
well, you could
what's
tell
your
them
reason?
why. Like,
My
No, my
dad
mom
would be like, you're
try
not allowed.
but then that would basically just allow me to like manipulate or like be more annoying.
you were a
But-
monster.
I did, if I felt like the reason was good enough, I would
Oh.
accept it.
My
I
dad
like
would
that.
say, I don't
But-
need to give you a reason.
So they would just
Just
have
do
to
what I
get good
say.
at explaining to you.
But
they
I
need to
think that, like,
manipulate you.
Other kids could probably are better at like doing something if they have an explanation. Like,
Mhm.
why don't we teach kids like, hey, everyone has a unique learning style. Let's figure that out in kindergarten together.
Yeah.
And learning styles are just part of like every year's curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
So you can opt into different, like in kindergarten, you get to explore all types of learning. Like you get to fidget, you get to color, you get to listen to things.
Yeah, and see which one you remember
Yeah.
and you don't get to
'Cause-
study. We're gonna do
Yeah.
a pop quiz after and see which one like helped you
Yeah.
remember it, do better. Or
And there's
something.
no, like, it's not a bad score or a good score. It's seeing what helps you the
yeah.
best.
Yeah, it's not like gonna go against your grade or something.
No, but I think like I was always thinking that I was like more of a visual learner, but I think I'm actually more of an auditory learner.
Oh.
Like I always
think
like
I am
remembered
too.
stuff from lectures more
But like
than
while
like
I'm
visuals.
doing something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only would if it was a song.
Like if I'm listening to a podcast and like walking or like coloring, I remember
Yes.
that information so
Yes.
much better than like if I'm just listening
I know.
and not doing anything.
For sure.
I also think when you're growing up in groups of threes or in friendships in general, you're not really focused so much on like leaving somebody out or anything. You're just focused on like yourself connecting with like people. Like you want to feel close. Like I was not so concerned all the time about like, oh, like, am I leaving this person out or not? Like I would try and make sure that everyone felt included and stuff. But I was so much more concerned with like my connections with my friends and like becoming better, closer friends, that sometimes it would be like it would over like I'd focus more on that versus like other aspects of the friendship. Because I think in high school and everything, you're just like trying to fit in and be connected to people
Yeah.
over anything else.
And it's different when you're an adult of like we have group chats when you're in friendships at 3, but
Yeah.
like FaceTimes and phone calls. I don't really do 3 FaceTimes
That's
or phone
interesting,
calls as
yeah.
much, but like in middle school we'd always like uvu or
Yeah.
like do 3-way calls all the time.
Yeah.
I do think I prefer a 3-person group chat. I feel like I'm more connected to people that way because I don't have to like carry the conversation.
Yeah. That is exactly how I feel in real life.
Do we
I
have
feel like
any
I've
other-
had so many profound thoughts and realizations in this episode. And I think
What
this episode
else?
just feels long because we didn't do like a talk about ourselves, like in life update section. So I'm like,
Oh,
we've
yeah,
been
you're
talking
right.
about the topic for 40 minutes. Like,
know,
haven't we
that's really
talked enough about
good.
it?
Wait,
I don't know what else to
think about
say.
your realizations.
Well, I already said them. I feel like I've said really good things
Oh.
already in this
yeah.
podcast. Like, I don't know how many more helpful thoughts I could have right now. I used to always be one sick on vacations. Well, not always, but when I went to
Really?
Australia, I was so fucking sick for the first 3 or 4 days.
Oh.
And then when I went to Hawaii, I was so fucking sick for the first 2 days.
I like randomly have gotten sick on vacation, like in the most annoying places. Like I got sick in Winter Park. We like went for like a just me and Joe ski vacation, and I was bedridden, and that was like so frustrating.
Yeah, that's the worst. It is frustrating when like, well, it sucks that you were just with Joe.
Yeah.
Like for me, I was in groups and I'd have to be like, I have to stay at the hotel. Like you guys
Yeah.
can go out. Like I don't feel good. When I was in Australia though, oh my God. Yeah, I can tell the story. I rallied so hard in Australia. The first 3 days we were staying with my friend Thomas in Brisbane, and we had this like the longest day ever, you know, when you're just like
Yeah.
out all day long doing things. We went and held a koala. We went and explored downtown Brisbane. We went to a fucking music festival, like street fair
What?
after. Yeah, and I was so sick.
I want to go out with that, Devin.
What? Yeah, well, we could if you
go
get
to
better.
Australia?
I feel like this is gonna be Carlsbad.
Carlsbad is not Australia.
Well, you just said you wanted to go out with that Devin, the one that.
I mean
don't
like
think-
Australia.
Oh yeah,
Like-
yes.
Like
Australia
big
Dev.
trips.
So, like,
that.
Down
And, like,
under
What
Dev.
I had to do is
Yeah,
I
like-
was like taking drugs, not drugs. Like I was taking like Adderall, not Adderall. It was some other type of medication that gives you energy. It was like some
Coke?
kind of like no.
She's like, it was this white powder. I don't know what it was
You
called.
usually like snort it.
No,
It
it
was
was like a
interesting.
pill that gives you energy.
Suspicious.
Adderall.
Don't recommend.
It's not Adderall. It was something else. I don't know what it was. And I was just drinking and I was just pushing myself. I was like, every
Yeah.
time I started to feel sick, I would take ibuprofen. I would drink alcohol. Like I was just pushing myself. And then the next day we had the Ellie Goulding concert and we had
Wait,
to
the
get
first
there.
concert wasn't even Ellie Goulding. It was just something.
It was
else?
like a street fair like thing.
Oh, fine.
Like Australia thing. Yeah.
I wanna go.
But we had to get for Ellie, it was GA. We wanted to be in the front row. We had to get there at like 7 a.m. And I was so sick. And I literally almost threw up and passed out at the same time. Like
Oh my God.
I had to walk and go get a smoothie because like I was literally shaking. I was so sick. And like when I was waiting in line for the smoothie, I had to like
Oh
go
no.
like this to pay because I was like about to pass out. Like I had to.
Oh no, that's
Bend
the
down.
worst.
Scary.
It was really
Are you
scary.
glad that you went hard though still the first day?
Well, I don't know. Like that's the thing. I think
Mhm.
because I went hard like that, I was that sick. And then I had to go back to Thomas's house and nap while they waited in line. And then I was able to go to the concert.
Wait, so does he
but
still live there?
He lives in Sydney now.
What? Where were you?
Brisbane.
Brisbane. Okay.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
How big is Australia like compared to the US or like to
I want to say bigger.
population?
no like size? Like
Let's see.
I think it's bigger because when you fly from one coast to the other, well, maybe it's like the same.
and like
'Cause
there's
it's,
a
like,
lot
6
of
hours
driving
from
to
one
get
coast.
to
Yeah,
other
you have to
places.
fly between like the 3 major cities.
Huh. It just looks so pretty. Cameron has a work office there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they like have even asked him to do that, but they have such strict dog laws of like you need to quarantine your dog for like 3 months.
Yeah, I know. It's scary.
No.
Asked him to what, move there?
You gotta like go train for a year or something, like train other
Oh,
people.
Yeah.
Or even a month or like he did in Florida. Like,
Um,
not if we can't bring the dogs.
Australia and the US are about the same size.
Whoa. That's
Land
quite
area
interesting.
Australia is 2.9 million square miles and the US is 3.7.
Wow.
But it's way less populated, right? It's like nobody
I
lives
would
in the middle
assume.
of Australia, I don't think,
I don't have a
except for like natives.
population size.
I think that's right.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's horrible. I'm glad that I'm here. Being sick
And not in Australia.
Yeah, and that we're not like
I feel like
Partying.
that this isn't the candle making day.
Yeah.
Like I'm hoping
oh yeah,
I can feel better.
some good night's sleep tonight will be good.
Yeah. I think so. I think that's the main thing that the Oura Ring though has like taught me is how much sleep affects everything. Yeah. Like and
Mhm.
it's made me want to prioritize my sleep way more.
I do think that's a kind of a big thing that over the last year I'm like I have my 8 hours or
Yeah.
9 hours.
Yeah, no, literally 9. Like at least 8.
Well, actually though, typically what I've noticed on my Oura Ring is like I have to be in bed for like 9 hours and then I get like a good 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah,
If
that's
I'm
interesting.
Just sleeping from like 9:30 to like 5:30, that's like 8 hours. I don't get the full like 8 hours of sleep. It's like
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
like 7.
I have to be in
something.
bed for like 10 or 11 hours to
Yeah.
get 8 or 9.
I love my bed.
Me too.
I love being in
Same.
bed. Joe's like, why are you like laying in bed right now? I'm like, because it's just the best thing ever.
Yeah,
would
why
you
not?
be?
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like I'm gonna enjoy my living room more now.
Definitely.
More comfy.
Yeah.
I really want to host more people. That's like my big thing. Is being
Did
able
you
to
end up
host more.
texting your neighbor?
No, that's actually on my
Mm.
list. I gotta do that because we can just do a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's gonna be nice.
But it has to be like a weekly walk. It has to be consistent.
I know. I think I can do that. I don't know. I think to wrap it up, I'm pretty pro 3-person friendships. Oh yeah, you said you had like you have mixed feelings about it. What are the
Well, just of the
downsides?
times where I'd feel left out.
But
Or feel bad about it.
didn't you all like I also felt left out in bigger groups too.
Yeah.
Like groups of 5 or whatever, and they just be like not invite me because they think that I don't want to come or whatever.
For sure. I don't know if I've even ever had that.
I'm curious if now like is the girls that are you in is it like a threesome at pickleball?
It's like 3 kind of 4.
Yeah. I'm curious if like now like as you keep growing that friendship, if you'll like start kind of telling people just like, hey, like I'm introverted. I get my energy from like being alone. You guys are like I love being together. I would love to be always extended an invite, even though I might not always take you up on it because like sometimes I'm like low energy and I need to like recharge my batteries and stuff. But I just want you to know like I'd always appreciate the invite extended.
Yeah.
Like so now they know to like just always reach out, but they won't feel any type of way and you won't feel any type of way.
Yeah. My newest friendship now is also 3. Like, I don't fucking understand.
Do you tell them
Because
that?
threes are the best.
Do I tell them what?
Like, you don't want to always say yes, but you want to like.
Yeah, no, that's why I love them so much. Is like, even a few weeks ago, I don't know, the boys were doing something and me and Brendan were like, oh, like, let's all hang out too. We could do a girls thing.
Yeah.
And Maddie was like, I just like wanted to have a night alone. I was going to watch this movie and whatnot. And we were
That's
like, have
so
fun.
nice.
Like, that's great too. Like, we're very open of just being like,
So
I
did
just want to stay home.
The this is like, this brought up a thought. If there's a trio and one of them can't come, does that mean the other 2 don't get together?
So it depends. Like, sometimes if we're planning a certain thing and then one of us can't, then we wait.
Like an
and schedule
activity,
it when
like if
there's
you
3
did
of
candle
us.
making or something.
Yeah, like that. Then we wait till it's the 3 of
Yeah.
us. If it, like, this was just like, she just came over for a little bit and had wine while her husband was
Yeah.
also there. So, like, it wasn't a huge planned thing.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
then when I worked at the coffee shop with Maddie last week, Britton was working
Yeah.
also. So, like, we hang out alone. Usually me and Maddie more frequently go to football. Maddie really goes to football. She's the best freaking girlfriend.
She's dedicated.
In the rain and the snow and the anything. She's dedicated.
Go, Maddie,
Damn.
go.
If it's raining, I'm like, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not going today.
Is she a fiance or a girlfriend?
Girlfriend, but they've been together a long
Do you think
time.
they'll get engaged soon?
I don't know. I don't like to be pushy about that stuff because I don't like when people are pushy with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you married yet? Like, why aren't you having kids yet?
Yeah, like we talk about it and stuff, but like,
Is she like in any timeline?
Are you,
I
Brittany?
don't want to share necessarily on the podcast of her timeline of engagement.
Oh my god! Imagine like it being clipped to her husband. And she's like, yeah,
no,
next week.
Yeah, they live together and everything, and like have been together for a long time, like 6 years or something.
Tell me more about Maddie. Who is?
And they're so smart. Random. They have like a house with a little guest house in the back, and they live in the guest house and rent out the main house,
Oh,
so they
that's
make way more
so
money than if they
sick.
were to rent out the guest house. Like,
Wow.
it's so smart.
I don't think I could be that smart.
Yeah, me
I would
either.
be like, I want that big house.
Yeah.
What is Parker Posey say? And I don't think I'm meant to live an uncomfortable
Well,
life.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I'm like, I need to be a little more uncomfortable.
For sure. That's what the therapist told me. I need to be uncomfortable.
Like lifestyle wise, or just like put yourself in
Put
uncomfy situations.
myself in situations where I feel uncomfortable
I
because I,
think I
like
need
to
to,
be very comfortable.
I think I need to do the like lifestyle uncomfortable.
What would make you uncomfortable?
Oh, that's a great question.
like in social situations?
In anything.
In social first, and then also like lifestyle wise.
In social, when I meet somebody for the first time and they seem to be like very chaotic and like all over the place, and I can't really get a read on them. I'm thinking of like one interaction in particular. And if I'm like especially if it's like part of a group and they're acting like way different than the collective group. You know what I mean? Like if they're being like more outspoken, or they're being kind of like chaotic is a good word, but also kind of like, I don't know. And some people might just be like, oh yeah, they're like just being themselves. But to me, like it's not fitting in like the group social like dynamic or the norm of what how the group is interacting. So I don't necessarily know how to like act towards them. So that does make me uncomfortable because I'm like, I don't know how to like have a conversation or act. I don't know how to act interested in that. I don't know how to, because I can't place you. Versus like anyone else, I'm fine just like striking up a conversation with. Even if you're like more quiet, like I'd rather have that than like somebody.
What
who's
if
like,
it was a one-on-one with a person like that?
I would have a hard time like staying interested in the conversation, I think.
So it's more that personality type also kind of.
Yeah, it's just a little off-putting to me.
What about lifestyle wise?
I feel like I think your sister made a good point the other day about like hotel rooms and stuff. I would rather drive all night than stay in like something that's like, I don't even know. Like too
Like a
much
Motel
cracked
6?
paint. I could never stay in a Motel 6.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Same.
But even like too low level of a hotel like makes me uncomfortable.
What about like uncomfortable though? Like nervous almost. I guess maybe that's more what I mean.
lifestyle wise or socially?
Well, like when my therapist explained it of being uncomfortable, it's also like putting myself in situations like a Pilates class or something where I would feel uncomfortable / nervous.
I mean,
growth.
going to the gym, going to the Vasa for the first time, I was definitely a little bit anxious.
Yeah.
And what made me anxious was like the equipment, how many people would be
not
there,
knowing how
just
to use
like
it.
no, not necessarily not knowing how to use it, because like I don't know all the machines, and I was like walking around just like looking like, and I didn't have my glasses
I
on,
get
so I'm like
insecure
going
at
up
the
really
gym of,
close
like,
to it,
that
and I'm
they're,
like,
like,
what machine does this do?
Reading the instructions.
Yeah, but it was more like every gym has like such a different vibe, so I'm like, are people like, you know, really hard here?
You want to know how to fit into the norm in
It's actually a very good point.
whatever
Yeah.
group you're a part of.
Yeah, I think if I can figure that out, like, and I'm pretty good at it, like, you know, first situation, I think then I'm like,
That's
just
how
more
I feel at the
comfortable.
gym of what I mean of like with machines. It's like I don't want someone else to see me or think that I don't know how to do it or like
They'd
be
be
like
like, "You
struggling to figure it out or
stupid
something.
idiot."
Like yeah.
Like as if people are watching you. Well, look at that fucking girl. She doesn't
I
know
don't
what
even
she's
know
doing.
if it's like that. It's just like the
For me it is, I'm saying.
yeah. Just like the anxiety. It's irrational, obviously.
Yeah,
but your
nobody's
brain is
yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
thinking that people are doing that,
Yeah.
watching you.
yeah.
But you want to know, you want to be able to get somewhere and figure out how everybody is operating and then be able to fit into that norm. Or you at least want to be able to identify what it is
Yeah.
so that you know what to expect or whatever.
Yeah, I guess it's like being able to like read the room and understand like what's going to happen.
And you want
But-
everybody to fit into this because you're characterizing it all and you want everybody in it to fit into this characterization you've made.
Yeah.
And then when people are acting chaotic and they're not fitting into it or whatever, that's what makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
But even like, for example, like I went to this girl was like, hey, I'm going to do this like work from this coffee shop and I'm inviting a bunch of people. Like, you should come. Like, there was no way for me to really like be ready for that situation. But I just felt comfortable going into it because I'm like, I'm going to go to a coffee shop and I'm going to work and I'm going to like introduce myself to new people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was like easy for me to like just kind of think through and be like,
For
okay,
sure.
let's do this. And
Yeah.
I knew kind of the outcome. I was like, I'm going to enjoy whatever I'm going to do here.
I wonder if that has to do with you because you really like feeling understood or
Yeah.
that people understand what you're saying and don't like take you wrong. So you're kind of trying to do the same with other people.
You mean like being able to kind of read the room?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably has something to do with her Enneagram type.
I also don't like, it's very funny. Like, I have a very important balance in my brain of not wanting to be the center of attention, but wanting attention.
Oh, same.
I can't be like, I do not want to be the focus, the highlight, the spotlight, but I want to be in the light.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put the spotlight on me, that makes me
Like
uncomfortable.
in a dance, you want to be in the front row, but like a dance competition, you want to be in the front row, but not in the
I don't
front
wanna
and center.
be the front and center.
Yeah, but you want to be like 2 places over,
Mhm.
still in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I loved being a narrator because I would have the most lines and I'd be in the front the whole time, but like not the main character.
Yeah, that's so funny. Performing makes me wildly uncomfortable.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Probably mostly because it's like all attention's like centered on me.
No, honestly,
But a
like,
panel, I'm love.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because I would be way more nervous on a panel than
Really?
doing a play probably for sure.
I wouldn't be able to
actually.
speak up on a panel. I would need to be asked questions specifically.
Yeah.
I can't shut the fuck up on a panel. I have to actively be like, don't answer this.
But like even when we saw
don't
Hairspray for
answer
my
this first.
birthday, don't answer this. it was like a more like it's like a local Portland like group, and I was like, this is so fun. Like it made me be like, should I fucking become a theater kid and like
Oh my
God,
be an adult and join somewhere?
That would be so
That
fun.
would be so fun.
Willow just did the
That
cutest
sucks. Those
stretch.
things of like, I never did that in high school because I was too embarrassed or whatnot. Like
Yeah.
you stop things at a certain age because you're like,
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of adults start taking ballet classes. They don't
That's so
offer
cute.
that near me. But also, I mean, I guess it's probably healing trauma, but like for me, ballet was the worst class. It was the one I was afraid of. The teachers were mean.
Yeah.
It was strict. It was structured. It wasn't fun. It wasn't free. It wasn't expressive. So like as an adult, if I was going to go take dance classes, it would not be ballet.
yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Like,
I went to ballet once and the teacher had like a bunch of tattoos, I guess. I was like 4 and I told my mom, I was like, I'm scared. And we left.
you were so sheltered. Afraid of tattoos.
Like, what the hell? I was like scared of tattoos. And she probably was so cute. Like, I'm guessing she like
Did
had
your
a cute
sister be
outfit
like,
on.
don't ever get a tattoo? Do you have a tattoo?
I have one.
Okay.
My grandma.
yeah,
Me and my
yeah.
mom are gonna get one. I think I want to get for good from Wicked with my
Oh,
mom.
cute.
That was a like deep dive into friendships
I
and
was.
friendships of 3.
Yeah.
Mm.
Groups of 3. To close out, I think there are certain types of people that do not do well in a group of 3. But I do think there are also people like us that do very well in a group of 3. I think you have to be secure to be in a relationship with 3
Yeah.
people. Especially
be-
if you're dating.
And also be also
But it
your
is similar to
communication.
that.
You have to be like communicative. You have to be like good at communicating your
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
needs and like listening to other people's needs.
And
like,
the
within
personality
friendships.
type
Yeah.
thing, I think, really does.
you guys,
make a
maybe
huge
that's what I
difference.
need.
What?
A
What?
throuple.
I don't. I think you should work on.
Oh,
one
though, I
alone.
see kind of what you're saying, though, because
Then I don't have to be like,
yeah, okay.
but no, that would be
No, that would be
socially
disastrous.
Socially weird. It might be a good, like,
introduction to relationships.
yeah.
No, I do think like consistency and growing your bond is important too. Like, I mean, having to be alone with Brittany in Salt Lake for 4 days.
Having my God, it was an honor for you.
But I don't like one-on-one.
Yeah,
really
so
anything.
that was,
would have
like,
made me nervous.
A little, nervous to begin. Like, oh, it's
And
just
not
gonna
in
be me
a
and
way
Brittany.
of anything negative about you at all whatsoever. Just like
I
it could
know.
be straight up anyone besides Cameron.
Yeah.
And I would feel that way.
Yeah, and Cameron, you got used to it. Like, you just
Yeah.
have to like do it for
we-
longer than.
I guess we hung out like one-on-one for the first time, like when I came here.
I came to visit you in Denver. That was the first time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was the first time.
And
But I
that's
feel
what
like
I
a
mean.
lot
Like, you
of
guys
it's
have had a
like-
lot more one-on-one time.
I feel like it's I just have like such an understanding of like what you need
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing that it doesn't make me feel any type of way when I'm like also kind of checking in like, okay, like you need reset time before we go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel like we don't pay attention to your needs of doing more?
No, I think you guys are really attentive to my needs.
Okay.
I can tell like when someone's in a bad mood or something, and then I'm like, fuck.
Oh, same. I
Like
Feel everything.
earlier when you were like in a like being snippy about like the episodes or whatever, and I was just like,
I wasn't in a bad mood. I was. I'm
you're sick. I
sick.
know, but sick and bad, same thing, you know.
Yeah. Negative.
But like I can just tell,
And then I
I'm
was like, we're fucking doing 2 episodes.
yeah. So then, well, I just become the nice one. I was not mediating at all. I was just
No, you
like,
didn't.
No, exactly. I'm still mediating.
Yeah,
mediating myself. No, literally, that was literally an inner dialogue with myself. Like, I just need to say things out loud. Like, that's funny.
My biggest thing I think with this trip is that like our episodes together do so well and they're so enjoyable to listen to. So I feel much better about like us doing 4 episodes total.
No, I love the in-person episodes and everything too. I just want to be my thought was like, am I going to feel better tomorrow? Will I be more lively? And it would be a better episode than right now where I feel as though I need to puke again.
Yeah.
Well, we need to give you a little rest. So we're going to end this episode now. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Love you so much.
Make sure to join our Patreon for bonus vlogs. We're vlogging this trip, so join the Patreon.
We're also going live tonight, so
this
can
will be
then watch
posted
that video on our Patreon after the fact.
Yeah, well, I hope we saw you at our live. I hope it was really fun and we all got to hang out. If not, you can join and watch it, and we'll let you know how that went too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can even do them remotely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We should. I forgot that we did that before on Instagram too.
Yeah, that was fun. All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Subscribe to our YouTube. Leave us a rate and review.
And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.